Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have Simmerkhai here today, so thank you so much for coming today.
I'm glad to be here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. I'm obsessed with your builds, by the way, and I cannot wait to hear all about them. So why don't you start us off and tell us a little bit about yourself and your Sims history?
Okay, so I'm Kai. I'm from Asia, which is a continent, of course, but I'm from Malaysia, which is above Singapore and below Thailand. I usually say that to people because they don't really know where Malaysia is. But anyways, I started with The Sims, I think when I was about 8 or 9, probably, because me and my family were living abroad in Germany that time. And I used to go to sleepovers and stuff with my friends. So they would put on The Sims 2, I think, and I would just like follow along. Yeah, it was so fun. And then we would occasionally go back to Malaysia like every few years, maybe.
Mhm.
And I would stay with my cousin, and they had The Sims 2 also, fortunately. So I remember like playing it every day on her computer. And then I think when I moved permanently back to Malaysia, The
Mhm.
Sims 3 came out.
Okay.
Yeah, I only got the base game because like my mom wouldn't let me buy DLCs and stuff. But I remember really wanting to buy the Katy Perry sweet treats. Do you know that one?
I have never played this, but I have heard so many people like say
Mm,
how like infamous that pack is.
mm.
Okay, so what was with that pack that made it so like everybody had to have it?
I don't know, but I didn't have it. I didn't manage to get it because my
Oh
mom was
no.
like, "No, you cannot buy it." So I just got the base game only. And then when The Sims 4 came out, I watched a lot of like Simlicy videos,
Mhm.
um, like speed build videos, and I started building from The Sims 4 basically until now.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're like similar kind of story, like I started like did you ever play the first iteration of The Sims?
The Sims 1?
Yeah, like Sims 1.
No.
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 Would you ever, if there was an opportunity to play it, would you ever play it?
Of course. Of course I would.
Right? EA, get this
The
shit on
OG.
Origins.
Yeah.
We have generations below us that want to play it.
Also, they have The Sims Medieval. I want to try that one.
Yes, I'm
Mm.
staring at my copy of it right over there that my computer is just like, what is this ancient technology that because like I'm like my computer doesn't even have a disk drive anymore. So what am I supposed to do? I'll just hover. But anyways, I feel like a lot of people who I've talked to, they're always like, yes, I went to my friend's house and they had Sims. I feel like Sims is like the best gateway of anything
It is,
because they're
yeah.
like, oh my god, I love this. I need to own this. I need to own but no, that's awesome. So you played Sims 2, Sims 3, and Sims 4. I have to ask, what was your favorite iteration of it, of the game, and why?
I think it would be Sims 4 because like I played it for the longest time compared to the other two. But
Mhm.
in terms of gameplay, I think I prefer Sims 2 because it's more detailed and stuff like that compared to this one. Yeah.
I got you, which leads me to my very next question is I
Mm-hmm.
agree. Like I Sims 4 is the one I've played the most as an adult. Like I played the original Sims, I played Sims 2, but I was a child when I played those. I would love to go back and take some nostalgia to it.
Mm.
Because I was talking to my mom last night because like my mom is obsessed that I do these interviews. She was not on board at first, but she's becoming more on board. And she was like, "Yeah, I was so nostalgic. Like you used to play it like Sims all the time, and the Advent calendar game." I'm like, "You mean Neopets?" And she's like, "Yeah, Neopets." I for a second I thought Sims was Neopets. I was like, "Mom, you're so cute. Love you dearly." But I feel like there's a whole generation that needs to play the original Sims because
Mm.
it's so funny you said Katy Perry because for the original Simmers it was Christina Aguilera in the
Mm.
superstar pack, right? So like there's always been something. But anyways, leading me to my next question. We all know Project Renee is Sims 5. Leaked photos, more leaked photos, came out this week. And I want to hear your thoughts because specifically since you're a builder, they have only really showed the building aspect of the game and no cast, no nothing. So I would love to hear your thoughts.
I actually haven't gotten like deep into it, but
Okay.
I think it's really interesting and it's very complex. And I saw once a tweet, someone said that The Sims 4 is actually a builder's game. What about The Sims 5? Is it a builder's game too? Yeah, it's pretty interesting also because like they said that we will have a cross multiplayer or something like that. We
Hmm.
can play with friends. That's pretty interesting. But in terms of the like stylization of furniture that you can do, it's pretty similar to Sims 2. So I feel like for me, it's like a remastered version of The Sims 2.
I
But
like
yeah.
that. I that's the first time I've heard someone say that. I kind of agree as I'm looking at the stuff. Like, yeah, like obviously what we're seeing is extremely first draft. Because I was like,
Mm,
everything looks really big. But I'm like,
mm,
because it's just because they're working on it so they can get the detail in and then they can trick it to any particular size, right?
mm,
I'm happy to see that there's a lot more customization, especially in when it was announced at the Sim Summit, like you could change the bed size. I definitely feel like that is something that builders would really love. I'm just really nervous for one aspect of this is we have yet to see what any of the Sims are going to look like. Um,
that's true.
so like I agree, like the Sims 4 is a builder game.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is. But I'm nervous why they're keeping what the Sims look like so under wraps. Like how bad is it at this
Mm,
point? Because like they're luring everybody in, like, look, color wheel. Look,
mm.
you can group a whole fucking room of furniture and you can turn it at the same time. Awesome, but the Sims eyes are going to be the size of your forehead and just keep going. Like that is what I'm the most concerned of. And I won't be put to rest until I see like the snippet, like they did for Sims 4, where they just like show the
Mm,
top of the face.
mhm.
Like, excuse me, that's when I will rest easy, knowing that they're not gonna have like I'm so scared that it's gonna be so cartoony. Like I think like
Mm.
I'm very
Like Dreamlight Valley, like that.
yeah, it's literally I was thinking it's like the Disney Stardew Valley. I've asked my fiance for that for Christmas for me, and he's like, I'll only get it for you if you say the name correctly. And I'm like, you mean
What?
Disney? Because I call it like Star Dream Valley Star, and I
Oh my
he knows
God.
what I mean. I was like, yeah, Star Dream Valley Disney. He's like, no, it's not that either. I was like, Stars Valley Star. He's like, you said that twice. I was like, oh, that's not that one either.
Mm,
Anyways, I definitely I'm excited for Project Renee. I don't think it's going to come out for a
mm,
long time. I'm
mm,
very excited to see that The Sims 4 has a couple more years of content ahead, which is
mm.
two more expansion packs. What do you think they're going to be?
Oh, this is a tough question. Um, I actually don't know. I actually don't know, to be honest. Maybe something like I feel like we need something more related to like relationships with friends instead of like families because we have a lot of
Okay.
families now. Other than that, I'm not too sure. Maybe like something to do with babies since we're gonna have a babies update. Other than that, I'm not too sure. I haven't thought about it, but
That's
yeah.
that's totally fair. I forgot for 10 seconds that toddlers were going to be a terrifying object. Um, I'm just so scared about toddlers that they're just going to use
Mm,
the cat and dog code that they just have, and you're just
mm,
going to see this baby just like running away.
mm,
You're like,
mm.
it's like Kaiden has run away. And you're like, what? He was there. How did
I'm pretty excited about that, but I feel like that stage should like totally replace the baby stage that we have now. Because the
well,
baby stage we have now is so useless. Like,
I
come
agree
on, do
because
better.
because now we have debugged baby,
Mm,
toddlers, sorry, infants,
mm,
toddlers, child, teen, young adult, adult, death, right?
mm,
So I would really much like I'd like to play on the friends. I'd love to see generations be a pack
mm,
because now we have like this, these teen high schools. Listen, we don't need a preteen. Okay, we don't need
Mm-hmm.
any more adding to that side of the gender, like you're aging. I'd like to see something between 45 and 110. Like I would love to see like middle aged. I would love
Mm-hmm.
to see
More
retirement
elderly
homes,
people. Yeah,
more elderly people
exactly.
that they're actually useful, instead of it being like they
Yeah.
turn to an elder and then the next day they're like, Feeney's life is a coming to the end. I'm like, he just aged like 5 minutes. I went and grabbed a coffee, came back, and now I have to make his will. It's been like two
Hmm.
minutes, right? So I would love to see that age group. Would you like to see a little bit more of that as well?
Yeah, and I think that would be like a good pack if it were to be a pack, of course.
I agree. I'd also love to see more packs with different cultures around the world.
That's true, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
because currently if you see like Snowy Escape,
mhm.
it's revolved around Asia. But Asia
Yes.
is not just Japan, Korea. I'm Asian. India is Asian. Come on, like do better.
I Oh, that's what, like, I'm so concerned of if they ever do like a Canada world. It's just going to
Hmm.
be snow,
Hmm.
egloos, 20
Hmm.
Tim Hortons, and Justin Bieber just walking around.
Oh my God. Imagine.
Or Drake. We'll take you there. I mean, it's that's the case of it. But I sometimes I kind of wish it would take a little bit more realism into the game. So
Mhm.
my hope is when the Sims wants to create these next packs, that they
Mhm.
have people from those cultures in the room where it happens, so they're actually able to realistically make these worlds, instead of it being like a caricature. Where it's like in the UK with the cottage living world. Like that's not realistic unless you're on the countryside, and even then it's
Mm.
not
Mm.
realistic, right? So
That's true, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, now I know you're a builder. What packs would you recommend for anybody who wants to start building?
Oh, I would definitely recommend the Parenthood pack. I think if you're like being introduced to The Sims is
Mm-hmm.
all about like family, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
building people and making them families. I feel like Parenthood is a pretty good pack. Not in terms of build wise. Build wise, it is a good pack. Also, gameplay is good. Other than that, seasons is
Okay.
a good pack because you have like the snowy season, fall season. Um, stuff packs, I think for building, I actually can't think of one.
Paran
Maybe
Paranormal. Call a friend.
yeah,
Paranormal.
paranormal. Yeah, paranormal. And what other packs did we didn't talk about?
I would say Stranger Things or Strangerville.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, definitely Stranger Things. Strangerville, just
Mm,
because the doors and the windows are spectacular
mm,
for
yeah,
any form
yeah,
of Victorian home that you're currently
yeah.
going for.
They're very nice. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Island living is not bad either. Like it's
It's
different.
hit and miss. It's more of a problem child because like it doesn't
Yeah.
work. The build buy is nice. I actually
Mm.
put, because I just did a reel of like the top 5 builder pack expansion packs you should get. I actually put high school in because
Oh.
I really liked the build buy items in high school,
Mm.
especially for teen rooms. I feel like that was something that was kind of missing. But I'm definitely we can all skip um dine out when it comes, not that, sorry, not dine out, get to work,
No,
because
not that one. We can skip Journey to Batu.
okay, okay, so I was so anti that pack. I was like, this pack so and they're like, you own it? I was like, nah. And then Kev the builder bought it for me for my birthday, kind of as like a joke, because I was just like, I don't need this, blah, blah, blah. The cast items in there are incredible. Especially if you're going for that more fairy elf
Mhm.
aesthetic.
Mhm.
Oh, it is chef's kiss amazing. Build by, no. I agree with that with
Mm.
the build by.
Mm.
Well, their packs are really good. Oh yeah, cats and dogs.
Oh
I
yeah, cats and
I love
dogs.
cats and dogs.
Yeah.
I love the nautical theme shit that comes with that, because it doesn't make sense to why it's nautical themed, but I also love the world. And I
Beautiful world.
Beautiful
Beautiful.
world, and I also
Yeah.
love Get Together because I love the world. That's the
Mm.
world I use the most out of all of them. I know it's old and it could be redone, but I like that there's two big lots on there. I
Are there?
like
I forgot.
Yeah, so there's a 50 by 50 and there's a 64 by
Uh-huh.
64.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, right, right,
Right. So I'm just like, yes, big lots. Because we need more, like, I just want it, like, I want 6 blank worlds with just 64 by 64 lots. That would just make my life so much easier instead of me being like, okay, where are my big lots? Let's
You like big lots. I
I
don't like
do
big lots.
I like big lots, but for a different reason, not for
Mm,
building. Just because I
mm.
am a storyteller, I use the big lots as actual sets. So I'll have like 20
Oh.
rooms, and that's a story like that would be like this is this castle because I don't actually have the castle built yet, but I have the rooms for in the castle because I can't do like when you're like when you're like taking photos of the inside of your Sims. I actually can't have all 4 floors going at one time because the camera doesn't know what to do with itself. It's like, oh wait, you want to be on the 3rd floor? Boom. And I'm like, no, I want to be on the 4th floor. That's where my Sims are.
But this is the first time I hear someone play The Sims like this. Like, that's pretty interesting how you play it. Yeah.
A lot of storytellers do it that way just because it's easier for us to be able to actually get photos.
Mm, mm,
I've only started doing that maybe in the last like 6 months because like before, because like I still have the school that I use, but I only ever go on the main level because I
mm,
can't take it when I'm on the 3rd floor. And it's like, again, you want to take photos, 2nd floor, or you want to go to the basement. Like it's just like it's continuously moving. I do like 64 by 64 lots if I have castles that I need to place. Because like
mm,
castles need to be 64 by 64 because I need to get that terrain in there and stuff. But
mm.
anyways, if you had to build your dream pack, can be anything, what would it be?
Oh, let me think.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. I cannot really think of any pack, but I do think that this is out of topic or out of the question.
Yeah.
But I think the items right now we have should be improved. And like for example, we have swings, right?
Yeah.
Um, why don't they make ceiling swings, for
Mm-hmm.
example? Also, roofs for doors for roofs. I think that would be a good item too. Yeah.
Right.
But if we were to talk about the concept of the
Mm-hmm.
pack, I cannot really think of.
Yeah. That
Sorry.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Do you play with CC or do you play with no CC?
I'm a no CC broker.
You're no CC. See, I want to say I'm a no CC person, but if you're cast, you have to use CC. Don't care what you do because they look
Yeah,
creepy without it because they don't have eyelashes. And it's
that's true.
unsettling once after you have put eyelashes on your Sims and then once you take them off, you're like, ooh. I'm just disappointed that you have to like what I'm screaming about because like the 2 new kits came out this week
Mm-hmm.
that I think it was a Plumbella that
Yeah.
assisted with making them, and you can tell she did because like they're actually not garbage.
Mm.
um but like why do I have to download CC for half open doors? To me, I think that's crazy because like I'm you can clearly tell I'm in my hallway. um 2 of my doors are open but just a crack, right? So like I use CC for that. I use CC for obviously pillows because I'm
Mm. We
like
need
I'm
more pillows.
I'm like, how come we don't have decorative pillows, but we could go to we can go to space and back in an afternoon? Like I don't understand. And then that's when the summit where they released that you could put decorative pillows, and everyone was messaging me, being like,
Mhm.
"Hey, you, you got what you wanted." And I was like, "So EA does listen to these things."
They do, but they're pretty, I guess, like a bit slow, maybe.
Yeah, like I think it's this type of stuff. I would love a kit or a pack that was just called like what a real house is.
Hmm.
And like a real house would not be like a giant mansion. Like I want kitchen table bills. I want like like little bits of mud by the door, like like where you put your shoes down. I want open doors, pillows, blankets, unmade beds. Like I
Mm-hmm.
want those like realistic things where I feel
Mm.
like The Sims is kind of lacking on that. Like how many more hanging plants can they give us before they give us a throw blanket for our couch? Or like dishes. Like I would
Mm.
love to like instead of using the debugged dishes, like actually have sets. Because I downloaded CC sets. Because like for an example, like I made an industrial kitchen because I wanted to say I did, but it was so hard to do because unless I'm using tool, I can't stack plates on top of each other. And that's not realistic because when we open up our cupboards, it's not just one plate and one bowl and one mixing bowl and one wine glass. Like there's tons, right? So I literally
Mm.
downloaded CC to be able to put that up in there. So
Mhm.
I would hope one day that we will get that.
Also, talking about that, I feel like they should include like attachable pillows to current sofas, for example, like how
Yes.
you can link like counters together, they automatically attach to one another. That should be included, I feel. It would be a game changer for builders.
It would be, or
Mm.
get this, when you have wood that doesn't match anything else with paint, and you're just like,
Mm.
because if you want a full wooden room, none of the wood tones match each other.
That's
It's
true,
so
yeah.
frustrating because like the first I didn't realize it at first when I started playing Sims 4. I was like, oh, because like I'm a huge wood on wood girl. Like
Mhm.
every paint I use, you can tell it's a my build versus someone graciously let me borrow one of their builds, where it's like because it's always brick and wood. Like I am that's the style where I go. Every room has brick in it. Kitchen, brick. Bedroom, brick. Bathroom, brick. But I was like, because I wanted to build this like old school, like 1970s office where it's all wood based. None of the wood matched each other. And I was like, oh my God.
That can be frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating.
Mhm.
So anyways, anyways, um, so I want to switch. I want to talk about your builds. How do you come up with your builds? Are these Pinterest? Are these real homes that you see, or is it just all in your fantastic like mind?
Okay, usually it's always Pinterest builds,
Okay,
but sometimes this can be embarrassing.
yeah.
But sometimes I dream about building something, so the next day I do build it. But other than that, I think also inspiration, if I uh go through my Instagram feed, there's a lot of like talented builders, of course. So yeah, I just take some inspiration here and there and try to combine them all together, see what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, that's awesome. So you take your start with me. Talk me from when you start a build to you end your build. Like, what do you do?
Okay, when I start a build, the first thing I want to look for on a lot is the lighting. So usually, to take screenshots, of course. So usually I just put a build there and see what it looks like in each of the light settings.
Mm-hmm.
Then if it's okay, I just like refer to a Pinterest picture, for example,
Mm-hmm.
build the house and then do the floor plan first before I do the exterior landscaping,
Yep.
because it's very useful. So you don't really have to adjust afterwards. And then the inside, yeah, that's basically it. And then take the screenshots. It's a pretty linear process, I guess you can call it. Like,
I got you. Now, for anyone who's not builders, we know that like they're like, oh, this build takes like 10 minutes, right? Like, no, this takes hours. I have to ask, what are your go-to items when you're building your home? Like your build by.
do you know there's a plan in the dine out pack that looks like plastic?
Mhm.
The one in the white pot.
Yep.
I use that a lot. And then I also use the cool kitchen stuff like the
Mhm.
chopping boards, and also there is a shelving unit in there. In terms of like counters, Parenthood, they're really nice. I really like them. Also the towels for the insides I use from Parenthood. Other than that, I just try to see like what looks best for my eyes. Yeah.
Oh, I 100% got you. I'm always the team, the $12,000 bed. the $10,000 fridge, the $10,000 stove, like all built. Like I remember the one time I did like a 20K house, and I forgot I was doing it halfway through, as one does. And I was like, oh my, it's that like 500,000? Supposed to be 20,000. Oops.
I get that. I get that. Yeah.
Because you just get so immersed, right? You're like, but that goes
Mm,
really good here, and that goes. Anyone who can do like $5,000 builds, good on you, because it's all debugged, because it's not real. Um, which leads.
yeah, it's the same for me as well, because usually when I plan my builds,
Mhm.
let's say I want to do a base game only build, but then I see this column, I like it, so I put it, and it's not from base game. It so comes with the other stuff as well.
That's so funny because I
Yeah.
was literally just about to ask you because I was watching your latest YouTube video this morning and it was base game, and I wanted to know how you were able to create such a beautiful home in base game, because anytime I do anything base game, it just looks really sad.
Oh no, don't say that.
No, I know there's a lot because they keep adding things to base game, which is really good. Like
Mm,
from like when we bought the base game to what the base game is now was like a complete night and day.
mm,
Because there was a giant collab that just happened with, it was all base games, and it was
mm.
just to show that you are able to build stuff in base game. Now I have to ask you, you're speaking of, it was hard to, get a column because you like that. Were there any other challenges that you had when it was just base game related?
I feel like because base game, if you look at like the furniture, it's all very plain and boring. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's like a big challenge. If also there's not enough clutter items, if you want to clutter like in the kitchen space, for example. But yeah, doing base game builds are quite hard, to be honest, because it's challenging, but it's also fun because like you get to like see what items you've never used before, for example.
I
So
got
yeah,
you
it's like yeah,
there. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no worries.
I was just gonna say, like, there's so many interesting items in the base game that you forget are there. And when you
Mm.
have base game, you're like, okay, I guess I'm using this rug. I guess I'm using this toilet. I guess I'm
Yeah.
using this sink. Now we know that we continuously are getting updates to this base game, and now it's really good that now it is available for everybody to play, which means that more simmers around the world are going to have the capability of playing the game that we all love. What would you like to see the Sims team add to the base game in one of their next updates?
I feel like more of different styles in furniture. That would be nice. Because right now it looks like everything belongs to a suburban house.
Oh, for sure
Not much
does.
of not much of like different types of houses, I guess. Also, we need more core bells, like the things you put on the roof. The only
Okay.
base game core bells we have is the round Mediterranean ones. And the base game ones are, in my opinion, they're not nice. So we need more of those, definitely. It's the
Yes.
little details that matter.
It is the little details that matter, because I think that's what
Yeah.
takes a good build to a great build. It's the
Mm.
little details, like especially when you're doing terrain outside, where you're able to like put like the plants on the side of the building. You have the bushes correctly. You have the right flowers. You go into the kitchen and you literally put everything exactly. Again, I think that's like it can take a good build to the better. Speaking of good builds to better, you do a lot of speed builds, which are
Mm.
amazing. Talk to me about the process of that from someone who actually knows how to do a good speed build, to me, which are just like garbage fires. Like I haven't done a speed build in like over a year. I have no intentions to ever do another speed build because it's just me talking like, yeah, so this is the counter. Couldn't fucking figure out what color I wanted. So give me a minute, guys. It's gonna and then I forget that I actually deleted it. I was like, oh yeah, I actually didn't even get up going. I come up with a whole story to why I picked out that counter. And
Mm.
I'm like, oh shit, I guess I deleted it. Oops, my bad. Can't remember that. Like it's just, like that's my speed builds. So I'd love to hear what it's like to like from an expert of what it's like how to make an actual speed build.
Okay, so speed build, I guess speed build is just fast forwarding your video, of course. But the process of editing it is very, very exhausting to me sometimes. But I would say like if you want to do a voiceover, like it would be helpful to include maybe like the family that you're building the house for, and maybe like their personalities. For each room there's a different personality or something like that. Also, like you mentioned, like why you placed it there or
Mm-hmm.
something, the furniture there. That I mean, that's a common thing to talk about in speed builds also. But yeah, I do sometimes. You mentioned that, oh, and then you deleted it, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that too a lot in my videos, so I'm no expert, girl.
What are you talking about? Your emails are amazing. Like they're actually so well put together. I'm just like, yeah, guys. So Stas here. Cool. We're here for another one. Oh yeah, I forgot to save it. So you're just gonna see the screen save after 3 hours. Yeah. So I've been doing this build for about 20 hours now, and we just got to figure out the doors on the inside. So stay tuned. No, that's awesome. And you also do a lot of tray files.
Yeah, I used to do them, but I stopped because I feel bad for people being having to pay for tray files.
I it's fascinating. Like it's really cool to see. I like the ability to be able to get tray files though, and being
Mm.
able to put someone's build like that in your home. I know you've been part of several collabs. What has been your favorite collab that you've been a part of?
I think my own collab. I did a collab. It was called the Fruit Pop collab. Basically, in this collab, I called in like I think six cast creators who use CC and
Okay.
six builders. So basically, in this collab, they would have to build something or create a sim that revolves around a fruit, which I predetermined for them. So yeah, they just picked it out and built according to the fruit, the color scheme and all, personality wise for the sims. It was a fun collab. It was nice, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Can you please share what fruit you used?
I actually forgot, but I think mango, lychee, plum, kiwi, watermelon, and another one I forgot what it was.
That's so creative. This is why I fucking love this community. I would have never been like, here's a strawberry, build a house themed based on a strawberry and a cat. Like I love that. Have you ever hosted any more collabs or just that one?
Just that one, but I am planning to host one. I mean, it's in the works basically. Me and other two simmers, but
Well,
we're rolling out the invites currently. So
I was gonna say this isn't coming out until the end of January, so you have lots of time if you want to plug this now.
yeah, it is like a community collab, I would say.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of people, but yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see it whenever it comes out. Um, you also have a Discord channel. Talk to me about your Discord channel.
The Discord channel, basically I mean, created it because I started streaming on Twitch. Streaming is fun compared to doing speed build videos for me. So I decided to create a Discord server and just invite people in if they want to or not. And it's a pretty dead, it's pretty dead there. But I do occasionally like update like, hey, how are you guys? And stuff like that.
No, that's funny. I mean, I have a Discord channel that's like super dead. I created it for storytellers so they were able to share their work.
Mm.
And I forget that it exists half the time. I'll get a notification being like, "Yo, you live?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes. Hi everyone. How are
Oh my
you?"
god.
But it's so funny you said Twitch. So I'm
Mm.
hosting a roundtable in January.
Mm.
Um but when this podcast comes out, it will have already been filmed by this point. Um about what it's like to be on Twitch because I'm not the smartest human in the world, but I really can't wrap my mind around how Twitch works correctly.
Mhm.
So fill this girl in. I teach me a new trick because I literally staring at it and it like scares the shit out of me.
I mean, I'm relatively new, I would say. I started streaming in like July or August,
Okay.
but Twitch is just a platform where you can like live stream, of course. You can live stream anything like games, music, um, cooking, I don't know. But
Sorry. Did you say cooking?
yeah, yeah, cooking.
Okay, that's what I heard cocaine
Oh
and
no,
I just
no.
had to double check that that was cooking I was like,
Cooking.
cooking. I was like, oh.
But yeah, you just stream on there. You can also raid people. For example, if you want to end your stream, you can like bring your community over to another person who is streaming. You can rate them. You can also cheer people with what they call bits. It's like tips basically.
Oh.
And you can also subscribe to streamers by paying a monthly amount or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I think I make more friends there compared to the Sims community.
That's so fascinating. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Because some people think these are Twitch live streamed. I was
Oh.
like, no, no, no. um, they will never be Twitched. Now, saying that
Mm.
come out 5 years now, they'll be like, yeah, they're only Twitch now because Instagram and doesn't exist. No, that's awesome. Well, thank you for some tips and tricks. Still scared to hell of it. I hope after I have my round table talking to people that are Twitch people, it will put my mind at rest because I still can't figure out how you stream and have you on the screen at the same time. I can't figure that out because I'm like,
Oh,
do I?
you can turn it off actually. Like you can turn the preview off. There's plenty of stuff on there. Like you just have to learn.
Yes, that would require me having to learn a new trick though. Anyways, I want to say that it was an absolute pleasure. I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'm gonna let you go because I know that it's like 9:43, and like I want, or is it 10:43?
It's 10:43.
You're 13 hours ahead of me, girl. You
Yeah.
are doing well. 10:43. My future self will already be in my onesie with my hood on, balancing popcorn on my stomach, watching Netflix. Like I can already foresee that. But I tips and tricks. So I
Mhm.
like to end these podcasts now with what tips and tricks could you give to the community when it comes to builds?
I think the most important, I would say, using the tool mod and the red shelf mod. I think they're pretty useful if you want to like they're essential basically to build and clutter items and stuff. In terms of building itself, I feel like you just if you're just getting started into building, it's good to like practice a lot of it because I remember my first house being just a rectangle with a roof on it in The Sims 3. But sometimes you gotta explore outside of what you're doing so you can like see other people's builds and stuff, get inspired. Also use reshade. I feel like reshade is a game changer, also makes your screen and game way better, taking screenshots. Other than that, I guess just practice because it's very useful. Practice makes
All
perfect.
all amazing advice. What reshades do you use?
I use Dove. I feel like that's a pretty common reshade.
Mm-hmm,
Also, there is this creator. Her name is Elina.
mm-hmm.
She has a lot of nice reshades like sugar cookies. Angelic, I think, is one of them. Other than that, I use Nicole's Neexle.
Mm-hmm.
She's a storyteller. She has a reshade called something I forgot, but it's a pretty nice reshade. Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
I
all.
got I got you. Again, reshades. It really does make a big difference in the game. I
Yeah.
primarily just stick with the vibrant one. I
Mhm.
don't know who makes it. I think it's from one of the amazing creators you had just mentioned. I makes everything just so bright. And that's what you need because everybody looks super flat without it.
Yes, that's
Like
true.
I'm just like I can't to be honest with you, I forget I play reshades now. Like we use reshades because I go back and read old chapters. I'm like, oh, I wasn't using reshades there. Oh no. Why are there shadows? Why is half her face shadowed out? This is petrifying. This is scary. But anyways, um no, that's awesome. And any tips and tricks when it comes to making a speed build? I know we had talked about, but anything that you wish you would have known that you now know about
Mm,
doing all that speed builds?
I guess to try and stay motivated because, like, if you're expecting growth in YouTube, especially because YouTube is a very hard platform if you want to grow in, and the
Mhm.
algorithm, is a bit weird. But yeah, you just have to try to stay motivated and just be patient, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. When it
Mm.
comes to YouTube, so in my real life, when I'm not, being Stassi, I have a real life job. I'm a social media manager for a corporate company. And
Mm.
when it comes to YouTube, if your video is your video has to be under 2 minutes for it to even be picked
Mm.
up by the algorithm.
Yeah, yeah.
And it comes down to specific times and posts. Like my videos, no shot in hell because they're an hour and a half sometimes, right? I'll be lucky if I get 10 views on a video, but podcast is different. People want to
Mm.
listen because they can do other things. Like people will message me being like, I'm driving and I like hearing your voice. And I'm like, yes, amazing. I love it. But anyways, it has been an absolute pleasure. Why don't you tell everybody where we can find your amazing work?
Okay, so I do have YouTube. I have the gallery ID, of course. I which are actually all of my socials are Simmerkhai.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Twitch also. I stream weekly on Twitch. I try to stream 3 times a week. But yeah, you can find my builds on the gallery. Just search for my ID, which is Simmerkhai.
Love it, Kai. Last question before we go. What do you typically stream on Twitch?
I usually stream The Sims and Apex Legends, the FPS game. Yeah.
Very, very, very nice. Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming here today. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. I am so excited to see your next collab. Definitely let me know when it's about to come out because I will share the shit out of it because I love your builds. I also love your icon the most because it sticks out to me because they're also wearing the cat headphones that are currently resting on my head.
Which icon?
You for your Instagram.
Oh, the cartoon, is it? The
Yeah, the
cartoon one?
cartoon. It always sticks out to me anytime you build because I'm so bad with names, but I'm really good at picking up the pictures, especially on Instagram. And I'm like, she's got the cat headphones. I have the cat headphones.
Having the cat headphones is actually my dream, but it's so expensive, especially the Razer ones. So
Oh,
like
these were expensive. When I started this last year, I started off with a used mic that was $20 on Facebook Marketplace. I have a mom answering laptop email. Still have that. That's how these are all filmed. You can tell my beautiful workstation. We have my bathroom door and a bedroom door. And I have a bear here that's currently being used as close as I
oh.
didn't realize that. But I wanted these headphones. I
Mm,
didn't but I was able to get them used. I had they were like 60% from off from because the girl put them on her head once. She was
mm.
12. These are way too heavy for a child. So she sold them to me for under $100, and I got that as my birthday
Oh.
present last year. So I was like,
Oh, yay.
cat headphones, need them. Anyways, it's been an absolute pleasure. Please go check out Simmerkhai. Our builds are absolutely amazing. And again, thank you so much for coming today. And I hope you
All
have a great rest
right.
of your day.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course.